Okay, so last time I played this, I said I will resume tomorrow. That was like a week and a half ago. Everything went horribly awry, as things do. So, um, here we are. I am going to enter the current time correctly, which is 11:29 p.m., though I suspect by the time I get there it'll be 11:30 p.m. So let's just aim for that. And wait a moment. Come on. Want to be accurate because last time there we go. 11:30 p.m. 11:30 p.m. Your favorite time of day. It is among them. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? So I set the time the first time I played this. And then I mistakenly left it on pause when I went to work. Um, Came back and found that pause timed, uh, putting it on pause stopped the time of the clocks, which I realized was the main reason for setting the time. So this time I actually exited out of the game, and yeah, I do want the time to be correct. I want to start in Stanley's office at 11:31 p.m. and realize I'm wasting my life in digitally as well as tactily. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. I try. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 11:30 p.m. is. Well, it's not anymore. It's 11:31 and about to be 11:32. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 11:30 p.m.? Let's slightly bring it down. Confirm. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. Well, I mean, I paid for this, so I can't be the product, right? I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Hmm. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Can't wait. The end is never the end, is never the. Yeah.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so this is my third time attempting this. The first time I got the apartment ending. That was a little too close to home. Then the second go around, I rightly avoided the right door decision. And, rolled with it, chose the escape path. And ultimately, everything went wrong there. I was crushed into oblivion. Also got to see the parking garage ending wherein Stanley is a lunatic who just drops dead. So, let's just breeze through this, shall we?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This time I shall. I feel like I've exhausted the options on the
Yet
right.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Don't go down the
Coming to a
stairs.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Now, I do feel like I have an option for choosing here. I went there. I feel like... Hey, what the hell, man? To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Okay. I could have sworn I was able to... What have I done wrong? Why can't I go in there? Damn it. Alright, well, there we
Stepping
go.
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, so last time, I rejected that, and I just hung out for a while, and it eventually opened and berated me for not following instructions, so, I decided to breeze through it this time. I'm not sure why I can't go the other way, but it is what it is.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
So this time I will. Because last time I took the escape route and it didn't end well. So this time, Mind Control Facility it is. I feel like I interact here.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Probably not. Employee observation protocol. Something. I can't read that. It's too small. Damn it. Alright. Camera button.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Beautiful. Very Brazil. The movie, not the country. Person button.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Likely.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Can't see much. So, heading this way, I
But
guess.
here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
And which button does that? Purple seems negative. It does nothing. Green, yellow, computer. Well, it says offline, so also offline. Nothing. Deadly flow portal. So, everything's offline. Unless, ta-da! Oh, I turned too much. Alright, what's this? Console disabled. Nothing. Okay. Doors closed. Alright, facility power it is. If everything's offline, I assume this is where we go. Mind controls idle awaiting input. Some kind of code over there in the corner. And also there.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
My instinct is to turn it all off. So I'm going with that, but I know in advance this is not going to go well.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
See, Stanley's got the right idea. That is the only thing, ideally, worth knowing. But if you're not Stanley, some people are driven forth and compelled to know more. And that's not great sometimes.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I beat the game according to Hey, guy. That's the canon ending? Really? True ending? Seriously? I'm honestly. Really? Well, man, isn't that just like me to stumble into the correct ending? Whereas, following my instincts apparently would lead to anything else happening. So, man, alright, cool. I feel like I'm missing so much more, though. Like, I don't know. uh, how have you been, guy?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I had
Stanley
a
decided to
feeling.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Good to hear, man. Or, you know, good to hear. Yeah, I just went to the mind control facility. I was like, whatever. I pressed off, and that was the end. So that was cool. But yeah, I had a feeling that it just it was a little what's the word I'm looking for? Anticlimactic. And after everything else we had been through with God, I don't want to talk about it. I kind of had a feeling there was just more going on, so now I'm on the quest to figure out what that is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So I got the apartment ending. I got the parking garage, crazy man dead on the street ending. I got the, you know, I don't know what they call it, the wood chipper ending, let's say, or the escape route, get crushed to death ending. Um, and apparently the true ending is those are the 4 I'm at so far. Yeah. In terms of differences in planning, for lack of a better word, um, I I know the things that I could do differently are in the mind control facility, pressing on instead of off. I did notice an aberration wherein I entered the sort of the manager's office, and there was only one way to go, whereas I previously remember there being an alternate
Stanley
pathway.
just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
We both have that in common. Yeah, exactly. I can actually fall to the bottom of the mind control room. Really? Well, hell, I got to try that right now. We're on a we're on a mission. Let's see if I can speed run my way to falling to the
Yet there was
bottom
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
as
disbelief,
I
Stanley
do
decided
in
to go
life.
up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ah, whoops, got turned around in the stairwell. All right, 2845 two four
Stepping
eight
into his
five. I
manager's
don't
office,
remember.
Stanley was once again stunned to
Two
discover not
eight
an indication
four
of any
five.
human life. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Yes. Ah, it's not quite on yet, but man, some Kataro, though.
Feeling
Oasis?
soothed
No.
and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Yep. Caught on a chair. All right. It is great new age music, honestly. Like, I do kind of miss the days of, sort of more retro synth. For that reason, something so ethereal about it that's missing in a lot of the more like hyper realistic synth tones. I don't want to go back so far as like chip tunes, though there is a place for that I enjoy. But like, there's something just about that ethereal, dreamy sort of like late 80s, early 90s, like synth, you know, chorus, choir, or Hollywood strings in synth that just nothing beats it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Is this where I fall? Where we're on little sort of islands?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
On top of this chair? Right here? What?
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are.
Oh, God.
We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Times 5.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
I miscounted. Beautiful. As much as I love sort of retro synth new age music, there is something to be said for sort of psychobilly rock, I suppose. So, thanks for reminding me of that guy. Yeah, I did it. I did it, guy. Thanks. is not something I would have instinctively attempted. That is a well hidden ending. Uh, Because again, I missed out on all of this. Was that really like a whole Twitter thing for the original game? Like, I actually don't know. And I will always say Twitter, by the way. Uh, like, I don't know how much of these historical bugs are like real ones from a previous iteration, or if it's like a sort of mockery of, you know, alpha and beta testing and stuff like that. Whether true or not, it's genius. So, but yeah, it it was okay. All right. Then that is an amazing callback.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is I got a lot remaining to do here, or a lot of different ways to go about this path of this sort of reincarnation exercise. Making almost the same mistakes over and over again, but making them into larger mistakes. So,
when Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Sure did.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Why aren't you... Oh! Why do you open this time? What the hell? Interesting. It's locked before. Alright, what you got going on? I was... Alright, here's the thing, guy. I was ready to believe that, and I thought that would be brilliant if this was just an eternal music experience. A sort of elevator music, just eternal playlist. And I'm okay with that, because that's genius. I'm gonna see if I can end this momentarily, just so that I don't have to talk over the beautiful soundscape. Um, Once upon a time, there was a series of games, the Time Splitters games, um, which back in the day I really loved, and they had Time Splitters 2 really pushed the sort of map editor um, to its logical limit, which was it was crazy, it was intense. But you could use any track from the game to play as the sort of background music for your map, and one of them was this sort of elevator music track called Mall, and I would pick that for every map I made because it was just so freaking good, and I was just having a little blast from the past moment there because it kind of reminded me it just needed a little bit of a like sort of rock organ to really really bring it to that level. But hey, anybody watching this, yeah, look up the Time Splitters game soundtrack and find the Mall track. It's something special. Let's see if down goes anywhere. I'm guessing no. All right. Well, I do like an elevator to eternity, you know.
Okay, I think we all know the
Two
drill
eight
by
four
now.
five.
Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay. All right. That. That was good. What if though I still attempt? Nah, Jesus. Wrong buttons. How do I delete? Hey, let's put in anything. Okay. I don't have a sort of interactive thing, but it was like 2. Eight, eight, eight. If I can frickin' see it, that's a 6. Oh, hell no. Oh no. 3? How dare you? Well, I guess we got our 6s in, we got our 3s. All that's left is 9s. Just to do the whole. Oh no! Ah, it's too hard. I did get the 8 trophy. So at this point, I'm just playing with the keypad. Or trophy. I say trophy because of my PlayStation gaming. I mean achievement, Steam award, whatever the hell they call it. So now we are off to whatever the hell happened.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Sure did. This time, not jumping off, probably.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
No, but we press on. Push a button. Cameras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Wait.
And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
If I hadn't gone so far as to be locked out by this gate, you're telling me you can go back up the elevator? To escape this fate. Or, commit to a different one. Whoa, okay, man. Well, it's too late for that, but that's, how many times am I going to go through this? How much is this going to reinforce my existential crisis between Tibetan Buddhist reincarnation and simulation theory? What is this the crossroads here? Just making the same mistake over and over again, but slightly different until. Never mind. I'm just dicking around.
This mind control facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yes.
No.
Like any job.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it?
No.
Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes, probably. What am I looking at? Where am I?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. So this is where I got to, and then I went to the facility power and I pressed off, and that was the last time anything good ever happened. So this time I'm gonna go on. And by last time anything good happened, I mean I got the true ending of the game apparently, but we're
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Hell no, we keep this rolling on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine.
I guess off doesn't work.
You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is.
5.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before
Google
you're obliterated.
Home. Alright.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the
5.
machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times,
I'm gonna die.
I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside.
5?
Or I let it
still
burn
says
to a
5.
crisp.
Shoot.
I have to say this, though. This
Okay,
version of events has been
1.
rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you,
2.
it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Not
But
great.
I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra
4.
time on the clock.
Shit.
Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to
3.
be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on
Doing what I
every
can,
little thing
man.
in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30
No.
seconds you have left to
I
struggle.
refuse.
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Beautiful. Flawless. God damn it. What time does that clock say? And what time does my... Oh. It's off either way. Alright. So, it is, before I commit to another run of this, it is, it's around 17 minutes after midnight my time. I do have to be at work first thing in the morning, and there is an overnight snowstorm that is supposed to ensure that I have to scrape ice and snow off of my car and then also die on the way to work because my tires are bald and there's no plows or so